guys, my name is Ro. Welcome back to my channel. Let's talk movies. Today's video is a review of Halloween Kills. I have never done a movie review before on this channel, so this is the first time I'm doing it, and I have a lot to say. Now, I'm going to throw a disclaimer out there right now, and I'm going to say that if you like this movie, do not watch my video. Do not watch my review because I'm bound to piss somebody off with what I'm going to say. Everybody has different tastes and everyone has a different opinion. So please bear in mind that this is my opinion, and I am sure that there are people that agree with me and there will be people that disagree with me. But if you, again, liked this movie, this is not the video for you. Where do I begin? I want to rant a lot because I am a huge Halloween fan. I did not like this one. So just so you guys know, I love Halloween, the original. It's my favorite, all-time favorite horror film. And I didn't love the 2018 one, but it was entertaining enough, which is why I expected Halloween Kills to be better. But it wasn't. So on Thursday night, my brother came over and we watched it together because we went to the movies to watch the 2018 one, and we both didn't love it, but we both agreed that it had some great things going on and it was fun to watch, even though there were some things that just didn't really make sense, or some things that we didn't really think needed to be in this film. So while we were watching the movie, there were a lot of moments that we were both making the same face, cringing at some things. I mean, there were scenes that we just looked at each other and we were like, what the hell was that, and why was that even in this movie? This didn't feel like a Halloween movie to me. And I know a lot of people are going to come at me because I like Halloween H2O, and that doesn't really feel like Halloween night, but it still felt like a Halloween movie, and there was a lot of Michael Myers in that film. And in this one, I feel like he wasn't really in enough. You know what I mean? So besides the fact that he wasn't really in a lot of this movie, even though this movie is about him, the most annoying characters were like the focus of this, and I could not stand them. And there was just some pointless scenes in this movie that did not make any sense to be in it, or even like, I don't know if it was the editing, I don't know if it was the directing. I'm gonna say it wasn't the directing because there are some really great scenes in this, and that's what I want to start off with. I don't want to be too negative straight off the bat. I want to let you guys know what I think worked and what I think was good about this movie. So I'm going to give you my pros list first, but just so you guys know, my pros list is very short compared to my cons. So the pros of this movie would be that his mask looks amazing where it's half burnt. The very first scene with all the firemen, great scene, creepy, tense, and honestly, that's the only tense scene in the entire movie. But I'm digressing because I'm trying to stick to the pros here. The other thing that I really loved about this movie is the fact that they did like the flashback scenes to 1978. I absolutely love that, obviously, because the 1978 Halloween is my all-time favorite movie, horror movie. So I absolutely loved those scenes. I love that they used the old mask. I love just everything that happened in the 1978 flashbacks were amazing. And I just wish that this movie kept that same kind of intense, creepy vibe to it, because it didn't. And I think the fact that they used the old school theme music during that time was just so nostalgic and fantastic. And I mean, what can I say really? Like those scenes were incredible, and I'm not going to take that away from the creators of this. I really enjoyed the kill scenes in this. I do think that every scene really that has Michael in it, well, almost every scene, I think the very last like 10 minutes, I wasn't into it, but every scene basically that has Michael in it is pretty fun to watch. I wouldn't say it's tense or suspenseful. This movie did not feel suspenseful. I was never like scared. And I know that like because we've been desensitized to so much now with all the new horror movies. I understand that I'm not going to always be scared, but there was no tension building or suspense behind anything. Like, the kills were just so quick. There was never moments where like that creepy music would come in and then you'd be like, oh my God, something's going to happen, and it just builds up. Like, none of that happens. There's no build up to the killings. They just get killed, and you don't really feel like, I didn't really feel connected to any of the characters that died. Not even the ones from the 2018 movie. Again, another pro is the John Carpenter score. That is just such an incredible score, and I think it is the best horror movie score ever, and that's just my opinion, but I think that it is, and it's just such a creepy score, and I loved that they used this in this movie. Okay, and so that's basically my pros. I don't have anything else to say to give it any credit. Everyone was talking about how amazing the final 10 minutes or 15 minutes of this movie were, and I just didn't feel anything, but we'll get to that in a minute. So when we finished watching this movie and my brother left to go home, I sat down and I wrote a bunch of notes because I just wanted to make sure that I gave you guys my fresh opinion about this movie. Will I watch this again? No. It was a complete waste of time in my opinion. And so without further ado, I will go into the cons of this movie. Let's start off with the townspeople. Now, a lot of the townspeople, you don't really get like background details about them. So they were just kind of like extras in the background. But the main character, Tommy, played by Anthony Michael Hall, was the most annoying character ever. I was never on his side. I was never like rooting for him because he was just so freaking annoying. He was like super cocky and thought that he could kill Michael. And you know, when I heard the story about the town wanting to kill Michael, the town going, no, we've had enough, we're going to kill him, I thought that was smart. Like, that was a really interesting premise, but the execution was horrendous. The acting in this movie was not good, even from the 2018 characters. The only one that I think was decent, really, or the only few, would have been Jamie Lee Curtis and the cop that's in the hospital with her. That's about it. Like, the main characters, not good. There was a lot of fan service in this movie, and it wasn't even good fan service. It was just so much repetition. Like, they completely repeated everything over and over again like we were stupid. They spoke about Michael Myers and the shape and the boogeyman, and they explained who Michael Myers was like 50 times in this movie. I know that's me exaggerating, but they just explained so much about him as if we were just idiots and we hadn't seen the 2018 one or any of the other ones. The fan service that I'm talking about is bringing back old characters like Tommy and the little girl that Jamie Lee Curtis takes care of in the first movie. They aren't really like main characters in my opinion. Like, I didn't care for them in those movies anyway. Like, I only really cared about Jamie Lee Curtis and obviously making sure the kids don't die. But like, the kids weren't like, oh, my favorite characters, like, oh, they're back. Like, I didn't care. And I feel like a lot of people were probably like, look, when they're at this open mic thing and Tommy gets up and starts talking about Michael, he like goes into detail about like what happened so many years ago and that he survived. And at first I was like, that's kind of cool that he's a survivor. Like, it's kind of cool that he's Tommy. But like, the fact that he became the main character in this movie, like, and it wasn't Jamie Lee Curtis, was just annoying because he wasn't even likable. He just pissed me off, okay? I just don't have any words to even describe how I feel about his character. I just did not like it. I'm not going to blame Anthony Michael Hall for the acting because maybe it's been a while for him, or maybe it was the direction, or like I said, the editing. I think the editing was awful. I'm sorry, but it was just not good. I'm digressing again because I'm ranting. But going back to that townsfolk open mic night thing, when he was explaining his story about being a survivor, It felt like he was telling people what happened because they didn't know anything about Michael Myers, right? And that's fine. I mean, I don't mind if they explained it that one time, but the fact that they continuously explained what happened in 1978 throughout the entire movie and continuously explained what happened in the 2018 movie, it just felt so redundant and it felt so cringe and annoying, and I just felt like we were being told things because we were stupid. Like, I felt like, do they think we're idiots? By the way, they say evil dies tonight so many times in this movie, and it is so cringe, especially when they're all chanting together everywhere they go. It just didn't make sense to me because it's like nobody cared or nobody knew anything about this. They found out at this one open mic night thing, and then they all decide that they're going to fight back. Also, in this timeline, Michael has only done the 1978 killings and then the 2018 killing. So the fact that they're like, oh, we have to stop this madness, as if it's been going on for years and years and years. I know that one character, I'm pretty sure, says this has been going on far too long or something like that, like along those lines, or like too many years, whatever. No, it hasn't, because this is only the third movie in the new timeline, and it's the same night as the 2018 one. So really, there's been 2 nights where Michael Myers has been roaming the streets killing people. But the fact that, like, they have this open mic night the same night and he's talking about, I don't know, it was just really stupid in my opinion. Please correct me if there's certain things that I'm getting completely wrong, or if you think that it made sense to you. But to me, it was just a way of getting the people to round up and fight against Michael Myers, because this is the premise of this movie. Another thing is that none of the characters were really in this much from the 2018 movie. Like, they are in it, but they're not the main characters in this one. And I get it, because in the original Halloween, Michael Myers is killing people randomly. Like, there's no motive behind his killings. And Laurie Strode just happens to be babysitting across the street from the house where he killed a bunch of people, which is why he goes to kill her. So there's no motive behind that. And in Halloween 2 is when you find out that Michael Myers is her brother. And it makes sense that that's why she's in that movie and he's trying to chase her down and kill her, because he's related to her and he wants to finish off what he started, right? The brother thing makes sense to me. And the fact that they cut that off kind of ruined everything else. And I'll explain. So, because Halloween 2018 comes right after the original Halloween, Laurie is not Michael's sister. Like, they're not related. There's nothing related about them, okay? So, again, Michael's just killing people randomly, which he does in this movie. But why was Laurie even in this movie? Like, I get that she wants revenge, but it just didn't really make so much sense. It's like the doctor takes Michael to her house just to, like, see what he does. But it felt like it was like a plot device just so they could get him to her house. Just so, like, Laurie could face off with Michael. Like, it was just that part where he takes him to her house is really stupid. Anyways, besides that, I enjoyed the 2018 one. I didn't think it was fantastic or anything. Some of the characters were annoying. Anyways, going back to Halloween Kills, in this one, the characters that survived the 2018 film, which is the same night, are obviously in this one. So it's continued. And I really loved that they started this as a continuation, kind of like what Halloween 2 did with the first one. Just continued. And I loved that, really loved that. But then, like, the characters in this that you kind of grew to appreciate and love in the 2018 one are not really prevalent in this story. And I get it, like I said, Laurie's not his sister, so it's fine if she's not even in this. Like, it's fine if she wasn't even in this movie, but she is, and she's stuck in the hospital for the entire film, basically. or not even basically, I think she is, but she does nothing. Her character is so pointless in this movie, and I didn't feel anything for any of the characters. Not even the 2018 characters gave me anything in this movie. I didn't feel anything. So many decisions were made in this where characters would do things that were the stupidest things ever. You know how like in Scream, they do it on purpose? Like, you know, Sydney jokes around and says, you know, these movies are stupid because the girl should be running out the door, but she runs up the stairs. And then later in the movie, Sydney runs up the stairs. Scream's very self-aware and it does that on purpose, but I felt like Halloween Kills did so many stupid things, but it wasn't even supposed to be like on purpose in that way. Like it was too serious. It was taking itself too seriously, I think. Laurie's character was super bland in this, and the reason I am going to bring up Halloween H2O is because she had so much fight in her in that movie. Like, not at the beginning. I like the slow progression from being super scared of Halloween night to taking back her power and fighting against Michael Myers. I loved that. That's what was missing from this one. And I know we got a little bit of it in the 2018 one where she's preparing herself for facing him, which is fine. But like I said, why? He's not related to you. He's not coming after you. But I get it that maybe she wants to just save other people and doesn't want them to suffer the way she has. But this one, the characters were just not good. There was no character in this that I felt sorry for. There was no character in this that I cared about. There were so many annoying characters, even the little kids that do the trick-or-treat razor blade thing. They were so annoying, and there was just so many cringe scenes in this. I can't go through this frame by frame, unfortunately. I can't point out everything that was terrible about it because we would be here forever, and I just need to get this off my chest. I just feel like this movie, they should have kept it simple. It was the same night continued. They should have just kept it simple where, you know, Laurie went to the hospital and she found out Michael was still alive and she wants to fight him again because obviously she tried to kill him and it didn't work. So she wants to be the one to end it, finally. But they just did a whole bunch of stuff that was just so useless. It was like filler scenes. The scenes were filler and not even good filler. Like there was a scene where I mentioned the kids that were trick-or-treating and they go to that gay couple's house and they pretend that their friend ate a candy bar and it had a razor blade in it, and they like trick the gay couple, and then the gay couple tell them about Michael Myers and how Michael Myers used to live in their house. And then suddenly the scene cuts and you don't see those people for like the longest time. And then later you see them just chilling like in their house eating, and then they hear a noise upstairs, right? And then instead of like leaving or calling the cops, because it's 2018 and they could easily, I don't know, use their mobile phones because it exists now, they decide to go upstairs with like the tiniest knives. Even if they didn't know that Michael Myers was roaming the streets, just say, for argument's sake, why would you go upstairs if you hear a noise? Like, if you can tell that someone's in your house, why would you go upstairs? And the fact that he goes, someone's in our house, like, get the hell out of your house and call the cops. It was just stupid. Like I said, so many stupid scenes, stupid decisions, and it was just frustrating to watch. There's also a line that one of those guys says when he sees Michael at the window, and it was so cheesy. I think it was like, "You've come home" or something. "You've come home, Michael." And it was just so cringe. Me and my brother were like, there was just so many cheesy lines in this, and the delivery of certain lines were not good. The funniest thing ever is that you don't really see the mob much. Like, you see them a couple of times, they're getting their guns and they're getting their knives or whatever, like they're preparing to like come after him. And I think my brother did say something, and I agree with it actually. He said it's as if they wanted a whole mob of people on the streets just so there's more of a higher body count, just so like there's more people that Michael can kill, because at this point It's probably like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So obviously kids aren't trick-or-treating anymore. Well, not all of them. There's a few on the streets, but there's not many kids trick-or-treating. It's not busy the way it was in the 2018 one because it's still obviously the same night, but it's later. So it's like, oh, everyone's in their house. That's pretty boring. What can we do to have people on the streets? I know, we'll get a mob to try and find Michael Myers and kill him. And that way they have more bodies. It didn't work. And now I'm going to talk about the other guy who also escaped the mental hospital with Michael, that goes to the hospital and everyone thinks is Michael Myers. First of all, Tommy especially knows that Michael Myers is this big, intimidating guy. And this guy that's running around the hospital, running away from all these people, looks like Quasimodo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and he's wobbling about as if this little man is able to kill a bunch of people when he can barely walk. And the townspeople think it's Michael Myers. And it's so like clearly not. And I think this scene might have worked if they used an actor who was taller, who resembled Michael a little bit more. The stature of Michael, like the way that he is and the height, you just think that these people wouldn't be that stupid. Like as if this little man is Michael Myers. As the person watching it, you know it's not because it's obvious, like this little man is not Michael Myers. And I understand if these people obviously haven't seen Michael Myers roam the streets in the 2018 night of Halloween. I understand if they think this guy's him because they don't know what he looks like, but there's no tension because we know it's not him. It would have made more sense if they got someone who looked similar to Michael, where we could have been like, is that him? Do you know what I mean? It was just such a pointless scene, and I understand what they were trying to do with it, with the whole mob mentality, but it didn't work. And they literally show you his body after he's jumped out the window. Why? Like, why are you showing us his dead corpse? And it was just not needed. I just feel like there was no sense of danger. Like you never felt like any danger was coming. Like it was just bland. I mean, even the bad Halloween movies are entertaining. This one was just plain boring. So that is the end of my rant. I could say a lot more, but I don't want to take up so much time. Again, I'm not going to watch this a second time. This is a one-off for me. There was zero payoff at the end. Nothing happened that shocked me. Nothing happened that got me excited or whatever. Like I said, some of the kills were cool. Some of the kills were shocking, but it wasn't enough for me to rate this higher than a 4 out of 10, to be honest. And if I had to give it out of 5, I was generous and gave it 1.5, but the 1.5 are for the things that I liked about it. Even Boo, A Day of Halloween, has more stars on my Letterboxd than this movie. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me ranting because I have so many thoughts. It was such a letdown. In saying that though, because I love the Halloween franchise, I will be watching the last one, so Halloween Ends. But I'm not going to go in with any kind of high expectations. That's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed my rant, and if you agree, let me know down in the comments below. But also if you did love this movie or did like it, and you think I'm being unfair with some of the things I've said, or you think I'm wrong with some of the things I've said, I would like to hear your opinion. Just don't be an a-hole about it, because everybody, like I said, has different opinions. And even though I might have sounded like an a-hole with some of the things I said, this is just my opinion and I'm not going at anybody. So this is just me venting. So if you let me know down below what you thought of this movie, I would love to hear it. There is also a guy on Letterboxd who did a review that I really liked and I agreed with everything you said, so I'm going to link that down below for you guys, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.